This Starrcast show, just like all of our Starrcast shows, are available at adfreeshows.com.
Talk about that culture shock and what that's like as a woman going there, competing there, being in that world overnight.
Oh my gosh, it was a shock. Just the driving, the food, the culture. Everyone's extremely humble and just very polite. The culture's just really great. It really humbled me because I walked in like a true American. I would take like the last piece of food and I'd be like, "What? No, that's not good. That's not." But it was really good. No, that's not good. So I learned a lot of things about manners and just being aware of my surroundings. And I'm so glad that I had that experience because I went there, saying that they drive on the wrong side of the road. But I left there saying that, they drive on the left side of the road. And that for me, it was just a mind click.
And we mentioned earlier, you went to Mexico at a very young age to learn pro wrestling. What is it like kind of diving into that culture shock and being like, hey, I want to be in wrestling, train me, and I'm here from the United States? Like, what's it like trying to break down those doors? Because to me, like most people who want to be wrestlers, they try to figure out somewhere local where they can train all the time. You just, I'm getting on a plane and going to another country, and I'm going to figure this out. I think that's amazing.
That would make sense, that approach. And I was told in Mexico, there are schools like within driving distance from your house. And I was like, I did not. That is why I am here. And I think it goes back to that kid power. I did not think about it. And I was going to ask you, your so reflection, it's like the hindsight, right? Your reflection, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're an insane person. You're just like white girl in your sundress down at a Coliseo in the really bad part of town in Mexico, like not thinking anything could potentially bad happen to you. I went and bought a ticket off the street and I'm sitting there in the front row and they come over and said, the office comes over and they're like, can we do anything for you while you're here on your stay? And I'm like, that's weird. Yeah, can you tell me where the subway is? Because I spent my money on this ticket. And they're like, making it, they had no I had no concept that I stuck out being a white girl in a sundress in the front row because I always call myself like a Latina poser. Like I'm really Irish and English heritage, but I relate to that culture. So I was just like, here I am with my people. And then my people that are not my people are like, you are not here with your people, by the way. So I think that I just kind of jumped in and I was like, yeah, we're doing this thing. I'm going to be a wrestler. And everyone there was like, who is this weird white girl saying she's going to be a wrestler? Like no one really got it. And unfortunately, I didn't know that no one got it. I might have been embarrassed. I might have thought I should go home. I might have thought I wasn't in the right place. But I was like, I'm in the right place to do the thing I'm going to do. And because I just kept saying that, finally at the end of the first time I was there, about a month later, they're like, her story's not changing. She is at every single one of these events in the front row. I guess we'll put her in touch with people to train her. And so I think it was that, like, just almost the opposite of not saying I'm in the wrong, though they do things weird here. I'm like, all right, finally, I'm like with these people, and they're like, you're not. And so then we both kind of bridged the gap by the end where I was like, okay, I can slow my roll. You are indeed a white girl. And then they can be like, okay, like we'll see if she'll stick around. And I did. So it was awesome. I loved it. I would never give that experience up. And it's a weird thing because people will be like, how should I be a wrestler? I'm like, not like I did. I'm not going to be responsible for you potentially getting kidnapped or like having a bad experience, but I wouldn't trade my experience for anything.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.